emotionally prepared when it's me. Like, I'm the last one to get here. So, I'm as physically and emotionally prepared as I'm going to be. So I hope you guys are too. Especially after last session. Fun. Housekeeping. I don't think I have any housekeeping, or if I had housekeeping, I just didn't bother writing it down and I can't remember it now. So it must not have been anything important. Well, I will say, okay, I was going all excited about the update for Fantasy Grounds Unity yesterday. There may be some additional sound effects. I don't know. I'm not quite sure if it uses the same link as the one you're using, the online link you're using to hear the background sounds right now. So that's going to probably make the difference.
Do we need a new link for Sirenscape? Because I'm not getting anything on
you're
that.
not getting
either.
anything? It should be the same old link, but let me generate a new one, just in case fiddling with Fantasy Grounds changed something. I think that's the same link, though. Oh, no, wait, it's different. It's different. So, yeah.
I've got stuff coming through now.
Sound! I'm going to lower one sound because it's very loud. We are streaming. Oh, this is amazing. And, oh! So, yeah, there may be sounds later. The unexpected sound. Stuff that I don't normally do when we're playing because I don't, I have Sirenscape in another window, so I'm usually just playing the ambient noises. I don't play the sound effects, so the sound effects might go off because that's some of the stuff that they added into Fantasy Grounds. I tested a little bit of it last night. Some of it was working. So I'll hear it, I think, but I don't know if you guys are going to hear it, so that'll be an experiment.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, it's super exciting, I think. You'll also notice that, like, in Fantasy Grounds, the percentile dice have been added to your dice tray. So you no longer have to, if I ask you to do a percentile dice roll, which happens like once in a blue moon, you don't have to right-click anymore to get to those. I think that's really nice.
I can't see percentile dice in my dice tray, unless you mean a D100.
It's, yeah, exactly.
I can't see a D100.
You don't see a D100?
Unless it's that, and I'm just not.
It should have like
a D20.
Oh, it should look like a 10, but it should have 00 showing.
For me, it's the one that's rightmost.
Far right. That one.
It's far
okay.
right. Far right.
Alright, sorry.
I mean, we've used that like once when you did the lottery thing, the raffle during Honeyfest. That was the last time I think we used a percentile dice. But hey, I like it being easily accessible. I'm excited about that. As for what happened last time, gosh, did anyone take notes? Or were you too stressed?
I do appear to have taken notes, but they are not as extensive as some sessions.
Okay.
Okay. As the water falls, Yelena sees several figures in the water. So this was from the session before that. We saw it all coming in through the cave roof, I think it was. So a woman appears and starts shouting a speech at us, which I have to admit, you scared the crap out of me when you started shouting at us last time. So it seems that the Black Earth cultists have taken someone prisoner from this cult, and Yelena recognises them. And I've got it as a Dark Tide cult, but I'm not actually sure if that was correct or not.
The Crushing Wave.
Crushing Wave, yeah.
Blue Crush.
Let me edit.
Blue Crush.
Surfer chick.
Mad surfer chick.
So the woman starts throwing large amounts of water around. That's an impressive feat. And we do what all true, sturdy, steadfast adventurers do, and we ran.
It seemed like a good idea at the time.
It certainly did, because I'm fairly sure there were some giant alligators with this lot, so we definitely did that. So we ran. We made our way northwest to where Yelena had seen Ragnar and Badger. Ragnar tells Yelena that Bellafauna transformed and escaped, but they don't know where she is now. They think that she came to try and find us. We realise that there is no way out to the west and head back east to a passage that leads back to the sewers, but there is a rock fall blocking the way. So Tyrell and Sprinkles reached it first. At that point, Sprinkles spots a rat swimming towards us, and instead of trying to lick it or eat it, well, she might try to lick it actually, but anyway, she advises Tyrell that it's Lady Bellofauna. So whilst we've all reunited and panicking about drowning, I haven't written this down, but the reason that we were all panicking about drowning is because we decided to rescue everyone else that was captured by the cult and working in the mines. But we got Kai to blast the rocks in the tunnel, and he managed to make just enough space for us to crawl out. Terrell had a minor panic because she didn't think Sprinkles would be able to fit until the DM reminded her that she had polymorph dust in her inventory, and so
The reason I remember that is because you asked me either at the top of the session or late last session what that does, and that's the only reason it was in my head. I'd forgotten
about it. Well, it's a good job you remembered, because
But you refreshed my memory because you asked, "What the hell is this?" earlier on.
Well, it's a good job. So the polymorph dust successfully turned Sprinkles into a goose, and she could get through the gap as well. So we are now on the other side of this rock fall that had a small gap, and potentially heading back into the direction of the sewers. But I'm fairly sure as well, and I haven't written this down, but there was some mention about possibly some goblins that the cultists were working with this way.
So I'll refresh your memory about a couple things, just so like they're kind of not abandoned totally because of our memories. So you've rescued everybody. You managed to rescue. You rescued Badger Sweeney, the stonemason, Ragnar Redtooth, who's like a retired soldier / bartender / tattooist, man of all seasons, beans and oatmeal enthusiast, and kind of a major domo or sidekick to Lady Bellofauna. And Lady Bellofauna, you kind of rescued her. Lady Bellofauna is currently in a rat shape form. She used wild shape to turn into a rat, and then she's been screwing around. Sprinkles, who you turned into a goose with that polymorph dust. That polymorph dust lasts for 48 hours. So.
Oh wow! Unless she gets injured.
Yeah. So unless you like bop her goose form on the head or something, or she gets injured, she's going to be a goose for the next 2 days. With all the privileges and powers therewith. So I think I dragged Sprinkles the Goose NPC to you, Tyrell, because she's now on the map as a goose, which I'm going to reshare because I don't think.
Yeah. Well, if I click on her, she doesn't do anything.
Okay, let me try dragging her to you again, because months passed between me having to do this, and so naturally, I don't know if it ever worked.
Sure.
Did you just get a goose?
That's a personal question.
Oh no, I added a second goose to the stupid map. Okay, wait, where's that?
Okay. Because again, clicking on it's done. No.
I didn't do it right. Let me open you up. Oh wait, that's not right either.
Well, the double entendre tonight is just.
Did anything do anything? I don't remember how to do this.
No.
Any gooses? Maybe because I have the goose. I don't remember how it works. Holy cow. Because this is before when I assign an NPC to you, it opens up suddenly. Like you suddenly get the character record of the creature.
I don't know if it's ever automatically opened for me.
Did that work?
Oh, there we go.
I remembered where to drag it finally. Okay, yay, success! Man, if Moonshine Cherries weren't so bad, I would treat myself to one in victory. Okay, so Sprinkles the goose. She's little and she's honking. I just distracted myself with what else I was going to tell you. Okay, another reason why you were here in the sewers, once you realized that that the cultists were up to something, is you found that they had done pulled a heist at the Elkhorn Emporium, and the Elkhorn Emporium mattered to you because one, well, there are cultists involved, boo, and two, the Emerald Enclave tasked you to pick up a statue of the goddess Angarad from the Elkhorn Emporium and deliver it to Parnast. So you guys are like, was this stolen? You haven't found it so far. It wasn't in the treasure hoard well that's under, thousands of gallons of water now.
Yeah, no, Bangors are like pension.
So just a reminder, you still don't know where the hell this statue is. It could still be at the Elkhorn Emporium, and that was a whole another pickle. Like, how are you going to get in? Because the proprietor, is away on vacation with his kids. Very inconvenient timing, but that's a thing. Probably a problem for future you. The other thing, let's see, what else? Is there anything else you forgot? You rescued Ragnar Badger, 3 townsfolk. What I've done in a very small effort to minimize the number of NPCs we are juggling, it's a token effort, is I've made a consolidated rescue townsfolk NPC.
Cool.
And this takes Badger, and it takes the 3 townsfolk, like the weakest, most shemp people in your party, and makes a Mecha-Villager who has 4 times the hit points. Okay.
Transformer.
4 times the hit points and like twice the damage. Yeah, it's a Transformer Villager. And
I should buy it at the end of Chronoscope.
so, because I don't want to make this like a total escort quest like the rescue was, because that was like escort quest central. And so the way this is going to go is you've got like 48 hit points to work with. Okay. And if the townsperson goes unconscious until you get them back to Secomber, that means one of them has gotten killed. Okay. And then they'll bounce immediately back to health, but it'll be like 1 person less, so like they'll drop down to 36 hit points when they revive. So you've got like this bucket of doom to work with. So I feel like that takes the pressure off, plus means we don't have to roll through quite as many people as you're navigating through.
I do, but I also feel that explanation is like slightly panic-inducing. That we have to worry about the townsfolk.
This is one of those moments where like I'm just trying to make it better for you and like not as stressful, so don't get stressed. Because that's like the opposite of my intention. I don't want you to be stressed about it so much, like freaking out that, oh my god, we're gonna walk 5 feet forward and everybody's gonna die, because that's not my intention. I really don't want that to happen. I promise that is not what I mean. I don't think killing all of you is fun, so having you narrowly escape danger, that's fun.
Sure.
But like, having you guys, not succeed is not fun. So I'm trying to balance it out, and maybe slant things a little bit in your favor, but like, this is just one of those things. Plus, I don't want to like have to cycle through 18 people again. Let's see, what else? Story bits. There was something else. Yeah, the 2 leaders. There was one person who had like the chariot pulled by alligators, who was like some kind of crushing wave knight, and then there was the Blue Crush surfer chick, who seemed to really be a leader. And Yelena recognized that the artifact she was wielding is what Yelena recognized. It was a weapon called Drown, associated with the cult of the Crushing Wave. And I think that's what made her like be like, okay, we don't want to fight her. She's like bad sushi. Let's go the opposite direction.
Bad sushi, love it.
I also want to emphasize that the most heroic moment of last session might be, arguably, when Kai's collapsible ladder/bridge was rescued by Ragnar. Yes. I think that was a very stressful time for Kai.
Yeah.
A huge looming loss, and it did not happen, and it is back into the bag of holding that Yelena has where it belongs. there's anything else. And you guys, and yeah, okay, Grim, you did make note about the stuff about the ambassador that apparently is being held somewhere, but not here because it was flooded. So somewhere else there might be a guy that these blue wave baddies are looking for.
I just took it that they could breathe underwater, so that if they flooded the place, they wouldn't be worried about him. He'd probably just,
Well, that's
be
true.
fine.
That's a good point. He might not be drowned. It might be everybody else, and they were watching the place out. Have they found this person? You don't know, because he didn't stick around in the water.
We did try to
Maybe they're
negotiate.
reunited at this point. Maybe they aren't.
Mm.
Who knows? Well, I do, but you guys don't know. So you have once you climbed over the barrier, like that you had been blasted away by Kai's thunder wave, and like you'd use the what was it? Ensnaring strike to reinforce the stone overhead to ward off further cave-ins. That's what Terrell did, right? So after using your magic and scrambling over
Yes.
the barrier, the group of you traversed through what was continuing to be the rising water, but it was you traveled uphill for a period of time until finally the flooding leveled out and you reached a patch of muddy land and you finally reached an area where it was just a tunnel hewn from stone and dirt, and you thought you had escaped any point of the flooding reaching you. You do know from what Ragnar said briefly in the flurry of action in the flooding caves, in the flooding mines, that there is a village of goblins, the Dust Goblins, that are allied with the Black Earth cultists, that you must navigate to reach the sewers if you want to escape through that route and reach Secomber again. You're in these tunnels. The water is bobbing gently now, just like a little pond that has settled, and it looks strangely peaceful given the upheaval that you've just endured. And everyone is kind of huddled around, looking stressed. Everybody's waterlogged, at least up to their waist.
At least the Spronkles is equipped for water, isn't she? Now.
Yeah, she's shaking her little tail feathers, but in between honks. And you catch her. She keeps looking down with her little orange nose. She's shaking her wings and she's checking them out. Like she's not quite sure what to make of this new body and what has happened. And you see her look up at you, and she shakes her tail feathers again. And it's like a goosey variation of the pee-pee dance. And her mouth opens and closes a bit, and you see she seems to be begging for food again. Like her brain still has owlbear hunger patterns, but she has a little goose belly, and she hasn't quite matriculated and reconciled the two. Alongside the goose, there's still this little brown rat, Lady Mecha-Villager in rat form, kind of circling around, sitting on her hind haunches, kind of worrying her hands together as she looks back at the water. If ever a rat looks stressed, this is a stressed as hell rat. And she scampers forward and she crawls up Ragnar's pants leg, and then crawls and sits on his shoulder. And he just lets out this gruff little huff, like he is not exactly pleased. You notice also that in the chamber where you have come out on the edge of the water, just to the northwest, you just see that it's there's this little barricade that seems to have been hurriedly put together, made of sticks, some stones, that's blocking a path. It's almost beaver-like like a beaver-like little dam in its construction that seems to be barricading off a path to the northwest. Like someone did put a little bit of effort towards shoring up against the rising waters, and that maybe the local goblins, denizens of this area, has some hint of what happened below, and have defended themselves against it. But there's no sign currently of the area where you are of goblins being present. So what do you do?
So what's the plan? Is it to get out of here?
I like it.
To Secomber?
Yeah, that was the idea, but I am like nastily wounded.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've had some
Heal
rocks
yourself.
dropped on you.
Yeah, so
And you had that tidal wave at the onset of the flooding from that mean blue lady.
I mean, I suppose I could just, I've got 4 lay on hands, I could just lay a couple of those, but I don't know if it's worth having a rest or not. I don't think anyone else is wounded, are they?
I am. I think I'm down
I'm
11.
wounded.
I think everyone is wounded somewhat.
Mhm.
Ragnar's not too bad, worse for wear. One of the villagers has looks like kind of like a little bit of a broken arm, or at least injured from getting swiped by a falling boulder. But by and large, they look in pretty good shape, except for like the lack of rest and malnourishment. Lady Belafana looks in pretty good shape for a wet rat.
I mean, is it worth taking a rest? Or do we think it's not a good idea?
I think it might be worth it if we're running into goblins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Will a short rest give us hit points back? Yeah.
You can spend hit dice to heal yourselves. I think one of you has, I think Kai has a pariah pit of health that gives you additional health when you spend hit dice to take a short rest. When you take a short rest. I think it's Kai. One of you does.
I think it's Kai.
I
I'm
can't
trying to
remember
remember how
if that means you get maximum healing or if you get just extra healing when you spend hit dice to while you're short resting. So you'll have to look at the description.
I can't remember how hit dice work.
Ragnar, he pipes up and he says, "I'll keep watch. I'll keep watch while the rest of you take a short bit of naps."
It doubles the hit points. Double the number of
Nice.
hit points it restores.
Mhm.
Right. So sorry. What do we do with hit dice?
On your front page, it'll have the front
HD.
page.
Right, it says
It has that
HD.
HD. You take that die and you roll it, and then you double it,
Ching 10.
Oh, come on.
and you can
no,
you
8.
have as many of those as you have levels.
Like 16 back then for me. Yeah.
Can you pass that around?
No, it's
Aw.
tuned to me. Sorry.
Bollocks.
I don't think I can share it.
So you'll
Oh,
see
that's slightly
that
better.
as you use them, it goes down by there's the number on the die in that box goes down. And when you take a long rest, half of them will be restored.
Oh, stop rolling once.
How
Of
many
course you're
can
out.
I do? Oh, can I do another one?
You can do up to 5.
Ching.
Or get stuffed.
Oh man!
I think that'll do for me.
Well, get your ones out of your system right now, okay?
All right, I'm going to leave it at that. I'll leave one hit dice. Well,
There we
is
go.
there any point in keeping a hit dice?
All right.
Do we
Well,
need them for anything else?
When you take a long rest, you're only gonna get half of them back. So it depends.
Right,
I mean, if you get back to town really fast, which you might, then it won't matter probably. If for some reason you make choices that mean it's going to take a little bit longer to get out and you get into more trouble, then it might compromise your ability to do this more.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep my last one then. I do have a healer's kit, so I can splint the person with the broken arm if need be.
Okay. All right. You get a sense. Well, everybody's kind of like sitting and resting, and Ragnar is kind of like off to the side, so he's moved kind of a little bit away from the group to kind of keep watch on both of the passageways that lead off of this kind of just slightly mossy, dank, dark chamber. Mecha-Villager is sitting on a shoulder, and she's like looking back at you guys, and you get this sense that she's kind of like, there's like a little meepy look in her eyes, like she's staying in rat form pretty much just so she doesn't have to talk to anybody, because she knows she's done something probably poor choices.
I cast talk with animals.
You say.
Well, first off, I turn to Spronkles and say, "Are you okay?"
I'm awfully short.
Yeah, I know. It was the only way we could get you through that hole, I'm afraid. Will you be alright staying like that? Because I don't know if we might have some more tight squeezes, and I don't want to have to leave you behind.
I'm pretty good. I think I can still bite stuff.
You can still buy stuff.
I don't have claws, though.
And she wiggles her flippers
No, but you can hiss
and
at people.
her wings.
Ooh, what's that like? Is that like girl?
Yeah. Well, if we find any bad guys, you can give it a try. But and if you do get hurt, you will turn back into your normal body. So, you know, you'll be okay. But I just think because we don't know if we're gonna have any tight squeezes, if you're okay just staying like that for the time being, it'll just make things a bit easier. But you know, if there's any problems, just let me know.
Okay, I'll try to be easy squeezy, but if I get scared, I might choose violence.
That's fine. I fully understand that choice.
Yay!
Do you have any treats?
In character for Goose.
Yeah, I know.
Do you have any bacon? Because I'm really hungry. I think I don't know.
Oh, do I have any? I have some rations. Can I give her some rations?
Ooh.
Oh, is Spronkles injured?
But now I'm really good for a goose.
Okay. I give her some. Maybe I've got some beef jerky in my rations or something like that. I give her. I'm not sure would geese eat beef?
Have we got any bread?
I don't know. Spronkles had 10 hit points left.
Right.
So, but I don't think you can do anything about that while Spronkles is in goose form.
Sure.
The goosery just kind of hides it. I think the goose is pretty robust because this is a really plump goose. This is a buff goose for goosdom. So it's like a buffer than average as a goose. Still not a ton of hit points. Still like probably less than 10, I think, is what the goose has.
Yeah, 6.
Yeah, 6. But for a goose, that's a lot. She's like, she's a buff goose. And that's 6 kittens, you know?
Oh, dear.
Yeah, but Spronkles will be injured if she goes back to beer form. So yeah, Spronkles is sorted. She eats some beef jerky, and she nom-noms on it. She doesn't seem as excited about it as she normally does once she starts eating it, once she starts chewing. But geese do eat like meat things. I think they eat grubs and stuff. Gosh, I should have googled what do goose eat.
I mean, the geese up in our park will eat anything thrown at them.
I think an unruly goose will eat anything.
Yeah.
Bread.
Slugs.
Bread.
She do like bread.
She really wants a cinnamon roll. That's what Sprinkles really wants. Sprinkles the goose. Spronkles. I
Right.
just cracked myself up. I don't know why. Okay. Yeah, I do know
Okay.
why. I don't know. I find Spronkles really funny name for Sprinkles the goose.
Right, Bellafauna.
Uh,
Terrell points at Bellafauna. You.
Hi.
You.
Boy,
Caused all sorts of trouble.
that was something. What? Oh, yeah. Okay. I did not expect that, and I don't think it's fair to say I caused the trouble because I don't think it's reasonable to have expected all of this to have happened. But it did not turn out the way that I expected, and I'll grant you that.
Right, well, the problem is, you see, your wyvern's been spotted outside town and they've got a hunt notice up for it.
What?
Yes.
Who?
The
Is it the town?
The Lords, yes. That hill thing where they put work notices and stuff.
The Lord's
They've noticed a
Alliance?
wyvern. That's the one.
Oh God, that's worse. That's worse. That's worse. Oh God. Oh God.
Okay, so
We
this
have to get
that.
out of here. We have to get out of here so I can warn her and get her away from town.
Why were you looking so guilty? And I'm fairly sure Ragnar said that you were coming to try and. Why were you still here in the mines? Why didn't you run?
Okay, I mean, that was kind of the plan. That probably would have been the smart thing to do. But then I got loose when we were still in the sewers, and they were taking Ragnar and Badger away. And I thought, well, yeah, I can run back and I can, tell you guys that they've been kidnapped and that things are going down and stuff. But I didn't know where they were taking them. So I made the decision that was maybe the best decision that I could have made, that I would trail them to where they were taking them. And then come back and get you, because then I would know where to go. But then I got there and then I started snooping around a little bit because I thought, oh, let's find out what they're up to, because these are cultists and they're doing bad things to people. And I saw there was some gems and stuff. And I know I might have gotten a little bit distracted and off task. But I really meant to go back, but then it started flooding and I panicked and it was bad. And I'm glad you were there. I really, really am glad that you were there. And you were there, so I didn't have to tell you that the bad things happen. And man, you're so reliable. That's so great. Thanks.
Just give a weak thumbs up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
little rat thumbs up. Good job. If I had money, I'd give you a bonus.
Okay.
Hey.
So, did you find anything useful out about the cults then while you were sniffing around?
Just a thought. Remind me later when we get back to Secomber. Maybe if I report this to the Rods, they'll give you a special reward for rescuing all the townspeople. That's what towns do, right? If they have money, and I think Secomber has a lot of money. They act like they have money. So
That sounds good.
Maybe we'll get you a bonus after all. Oh, what did I find out? Well, there wasn't a lot there. See, this is why I probably should have gone back, because there wasn't a lot to find out. I mean, I think all the people that I found out were there, the people I scouted out, might have drowned. There were a few stone melder kind of people there, and a few more priests of the Black Earth that were there, and they had all these rust monsters and creatures that would spit acid that you had to be careful around. And I had a good idea of the numbers of them and where they were before it started flooding. But in terms of what they were up to beyond just gathering riches for some other plan, there wasn't a lot. I know the names of a few. Well, let me see. God, can I remember now? I'm gonna roll a history check for Bellafauna to just see how many names she remembers. If she remembers any names that might have got mentioned by the people she spied on. To be fair, and this is me not remembering it. History is an intelligence check, right?
Oh, crikey.
Yes. It's don't make me look at your character sheets.
Yes, it is.
Oh dear. Oh but she rolled a 19, so that's a dirty 20. I remember, okay, well, here's some stuff I remember. They definitely have people in Secomber. They made reference. Somebody seems to be, like, they didn't mention one person by name, but there's somebody in a lot of power in Secomber. But they didn't say who it was. There's the bathhouse. Steam and Stone bathhouse. There's some people there who were in with the cult.
I think we got that already, didn't we?
Oh, did you know that already?
Yes, but mainly due to something that happened after you
Wow.
left the inn.
Guy, you're on top of things. Okay, awesome. Well, that sucks for me being helpful, but okay. What else? Oh, the golems. There was some talking about golems that, you know, the wizard who I thought I might be able to sell the wyvern egg to for money? Amelior Amanatas. Well, he's died. The defense of Secomber, a lot of it, relies upon these golems that the wizard constructed during his lifetime. And now that he's dead, no one has control over them. So I heard some people talking that it's a thing they'd like to do, is to get control of those golems. But apparently they aren't the only ones. But I didn't hear anything. They didn't say, volunteer the information about who else wants these golems. But I would assume that the lords of Secomber, the rods, not the lords, but the rods of Secomber, like the lady who talked to us at the gate, I'm assuming they would all want to have these coats too, because they would be responsible for the defense of the town. The only other thing is, there were more people above on the surface. I think, at least when they attacked, that cat, that tabaxi, who was at Honeyfest, they mentioned their name, Russell. They were still here when the water people attacked. But the other leaders, there's a lieutenant. What is her name? Starts like with an X or a Z. Lieutenant Zendrosa, I think. She has left the camp. She's gone somewhere to the east for some other plot they have going on. There was also some mention of a Queen Understone. I'm not quite sure what that was about, but they were really excited about this person. It has something to do with their worship.
Worship.
Some ritual. I don't know. Queen Understone is making things happen. And finding there's a troll. There's some troll on the surface that is also one of the stronger people here. But I think that's everything that I found out from spying. Most of it was just the locations of where there were guards and troops here. Well, back in the mines. I don't know how many people might have survived, and I don't know the numbers that were above ground at the quarry. But there's probably more information there. That's where their offices are. Around the camp at the quarry. Yeah. Down below there was just this one little shrine. Is that helpful at all?
It might be. I will pass it on to the other guys and see if anyone has any other questions for her.
Look, I'm sorry, but I did not think it shouldn't have been that much of a hassle to just peek down in the sewers. I mean, we're basically confident.
So did they just come across you while you were scouting the sewers for your
Yeah, I mean, we
information?
had a
and they
nice
just...
time. It was a good, like, 20-30 minutes. We were just looking around. I got a lot of information about the construction. Though I was a little bit disappointed that they just kind of repurposed all of those ruins to do their sewer system. I mean, we're going to have to start from scratch in Parnas. That's disappointing. But it was
Okay, but
fine
you didn't
and
get
dandy.
you didn't get the
There's-
impression that they were hunting you down specifically or anything like
It was
that.
only because we ran into them as they were leaving the scene and they thought we could, like, we made them. And so then they started
Okay.
chasing us. And we just weren't quite quick enough to climb back out before they caught up. We got overpowered. But nobody died, and that was pretty good. Well, they died. A couple of them died. But, yeah. I guess we should be thankful that they didn't kill us right off, and they needed captives. So that was lucky. And
Anyone got any other
Trails
questions?
off. She's kind of just a little bit subdued at the thought that, yeah, they probably could have gotten killed.
The only question I have is, what's the way out? Where do we go?
Oh, gosh, I forgot about that. Yeah, okay. So when we came in here, and Ragnar probably has something to say about this too, when they escorted them in, the Dust Goblins and the Cult of the Black Earth, they're allies, right? So they have parley. They were recognized. The dress. They recognized the dress, and there was some kind of hand symbol that they did. And she does it with her little rat fingers. Like, it's a little bit of a strain because she doesn't quite have opposable thumbs, but she holds the thumbs and pointer finger of both hands together, forming a triangle. They had this hand signal, and they wore the masks and stuff, and so the goblins recognized them as being with the cult, and they allowed them passage through, and they were escorted though. There is one tunnel. There was one tunnel where there needed to be somebody special to help passage. Apparently, there's well, there are these. It's like an ant farm. Well, they're acid ants, and they grow them to, I guess, make weapons or just acid or something. I don't know. But it's a precarious section to get through from here to the village proper and then back out to the sewers. We also passed through a room that was weird. It had like this rope, and it looked like it had maybe a chute that went up by this rope. But we didn't get to look at it closely. I didn't get to investigate. They just rushed us right out, on the way out through the village toward the mine. I also remember hearing a few, if I didn't know better, I would say it was the sound of fireworks while they were marching us through. Why would goblins have fireworks? Maybe, I think it was fireworks. Maybe it was bombs, but no. Probably fireworks. It sounded more like fireworks, yeah.
Oh, maybe we'll find out. Okay.
So we can disguise ourselves, put masks on.
Got the hand signal.
Got the hand signal. Do we have enough masks to go around for everybody?
Well, we've all got one.
We've all got
Not
one.
the others.
Yeah, all three of you have masks. And Yelena has a little bit of over armor.
Do we just pretend the townspeople are our prisoners that we're escorting?
Yeah, I think this is... Yeah.
All right. We're hungry. We're hungry and we need a drink. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go sleep.
Somebody's buying.
At this point, it's probably getting close to noon on whatever day it is in Marpanon. I'm gonna say the 5th. I think it's still the 5th. You took a rest. If you ask, because at this point, I think what your talk with animals lasts for 10 minutes. Your speak with animals.
Yeah, something like that.
That's worn off a little, but if you ask Ragnar, he'll say they walked through the sewers and caverns all together, maybe 3-4 hours to get to the mines. So he thinks it was like at least maybe 15 miles back to Secomber. Might be half a day. So what you're looking at now is you might, if you made great perfect time, get back before sunset.
Well, I guess we should get started then.
So everybody's had a short rest. Any abilities you have with a short rest? Oh, I forgot. Like Kai, I don't know if you cast spells, but you do have arcane recovery.
Do I get my spell slots back?
You get up to a 3rd level spell and spell slots back. So you can get like a 3rd level spell or 3 level 1 spells or a level 2 and a level 1 spell back.
I'd only used a level 2 spell, so I've got that.
So you
back.
get that.
So
you get that slot back.
Yep, I am.
Woohoo!
Yeah, got firepower.
Yeah.
I can go mad.
Baboom.
A baboon. So, do we pick a direction?
Yeah.
Is there a choice?
Well, there is a choice. There's basically like there's the path that's blocked by a dam. There is just a tunnel to kind of like the northwest and one a little bit to the southwest. That curves a little bit southwest. Ragnar's not quite sure which one that they took to get here.
I mean, the one through the dam doesn't seem likely in terms of.
All paths lead out.
Bellafana thinks that they came from the northwest.
Okay. So the one sort of to the left of Kai at the moment.
Spronkles, she waddles up to the northwest and she tries sniffing with her little duck beak. And then she flaps her wings and she like looks up at you like she does not appreciate her sniffing abilities as a goose.
I pat her head and say sorry.
And she kind of like does a goose shrug. Oh. Well, that's not a honk. Honk, honk. I don't know what sound I made beforehand, but it wasn't a honk. Sprinkles can't smell anything.
So should we go this way then?
Yeah. What do we want? How do we want to position this to make it look like we've got prisoners? Do we get everyone in the middle and like one at the front, one at the back?
Yeah, I like it.
And the 3 of you all put on like your 10 masks from the butt cult.
Yeah.
To make it look like you're Black Earth people.
Yeah.
Right. Who wants to go first?
Not me.
I guess I will scout out in front. So we're going northwest. Is that what we're doing?
Okay, yeah. Then on the assumption that you're going to scout, you'll be a bit ahead of us, so I'll take front if Kai takes up the back.
Mm-hmm. And what about the goose and the rat? Are they just walking?
They're gonna walk in the middle as if they're like with
the goose is waddling along with you. The rat is riding Ragnar's shoulder.
Right.
So I've gotten as northwest as I can go. Do we go north or do we go west? I think we go north.
Yeah.
That
So you get to this kind of juncture, and it goes like southwest, and it goes to the northeast. And Ragnar's like, we came from the southwest.
All right, so we're going northeast.
No, that's the opposite direction. He's like, whoa. Southwest.
Oh, okay.
We're going southwest?
Yeah, southwest. That's the right path.
All right.
Yeah. I don't know if that was clear, because I said it came from the southwest. Yeah, I don't understand directions, maybe. It's not my thing. But, yeah, there is something. It does look like the tunnel goes off somewhere, that way. I don't know if that's better. Maybe it is better. Maybe your scouty senses, Yelena, are very clever.
Why don't I do? Can I do a roll here?
You can do a survival check.
Hold on, let me maneuver this map here. I will survive.
Okay. With your survival check, you don't detect any immediate sounds in either direction. So you don't think that there's anything lurking, any kind of danger lurking. What you can tell is that there are warrens that continue to the ones to the southwest. They do seem to persist as tunnels for as far as you can track in the immediate area. To the northeast, the path does seem to kind of flatten out, and there's like kind of an archway, and there seems to be like a very sharp incline where it ends, like it's leading up to something. And you see a few small, like at the highest point, you see a few stone, like finished stone blocks that is indicative of the kind of ruins that the sewers are made out of, the ruins of a different civilization, and not it's like an intersection between these naturally carved and burrowed tunnels in the earth and the remnants of an older civilization. Like, you see a few signs of it to the northeast. To the southwest, though, you don't see any sign of it. It all still looks like it's natural burrows.
I'm going to scout ahead to the northeast some. And I'm going to tell the team that. I just want to go up there and see what's up there. If we've got time to do that.
We will hold position.
All right. So you scout ahead a little bit, and what you find is there's kind of like this outlet as the tunnel goes for a couple hundred feet. It's empty. No sounds. You don't detect anyone. But as it hits like that kind of upward little ramp suddenly, there's a sudden climb where you can go through a small hole that enters a ruin-like tunnel that is of finished stone, bricks, and a stairway leading upward. Or you can continue on to the west of it. There is more tunnel. And to the west from that point, you think you hear a few sounds of goblins talking. The finished stone portion, it still seems pretty quiet. You can't detect any presence in that immediate area.
Can I not go any further north here? The map isn't.
The map is weird in that it's multiple layers. So some of these tunnels are kind of blocked by the overhead layer.
Okay.
So, but there's nothing for you to really see. It's just more tunnel
Okay.
with nothing distinctive about it. So I just unveiled like a little square of the juncture where you could come out and go different directions.
All right, so I'm going to come back. I'm going to explain what I've seen and offer to. I can go down southwest a little bit too to see what's ahead that way. Because if we go up that way, we're probably going to run into goblins, which may or may not be a problem. We can talk our way through it. They might give us an escort out of here.
Okay. So, northeast, you heard goblins, but you also saw the start of what appears to be the sewer system.
Mm-hmm.
And southeast, we don't know yet. I mean, there's no harm in scouting just to see.
Yeah,
I suppose.
that's what I do.
You scout. Kai
I
blow
scout.
shit up. I make a noise.
I am like playing with this map. suddenly did sudden extreme
I
zoom.
will do this. I will do this stuff because I think, because I'm using a mask layer, it does kind of like step on your pimp juice. In terms of being able to move yourself, because those areas of unexplored mask will block you from moving your own token.
Now, I can't be up on this bridge, right? Am I
Yeah,
under
that
this
bridge is a level ahead of you. That's above
right.
you. So technically, the actual tunnel you're in goes underneath that level.
Right, underneath it. So I'll keep going underneath.
So once you reach a point where the tunnel opens into a small chamber. And what you see are a series of aged stone sarcophagi. One is half buried under centuries of stone and is halfway into the wall. And there's a sign posted in another language. What languages do you speak?
1 second. Common, Elvish, Sylvan.
Okay, so the sign is in a language you do not read, and it is sitting on top of one of the sarcophagi. And there's a tunnel branching out to the northwest, and before you get to what would be like formally be in that tunnel, there is a small gong planted alongside one of the walls. Kind of like a summoning gong kind of situation.
Must not strike the gong.
do a perception check. Yeah.
Lives.
That's about all you can tell about this area. You can't really detect anything interesting about what might be to the northwest of where that gong is.
Neither of these options is really giving exit vibes.
I mean, you know perfectly, like they've said that they had to travel through the village to get to the sewers.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mecha-Villager mentioned a chamber that they traveled through that had a heavy rope that led through kind of like a chute upward. But she didn't get to look at it in any close detail. You obviously haven't reached that point yet. I will say that she described that room as being finished, like the ruins, kind of. It wasn't like tunnels, that room.
Well, you know what, let me go.
I left that part out.
I once again, well, do I want to scout up a little bit more?
But like they also did mention that they had to go through some kind of ant farm to go the way that they were brought in. Are you getting closer to the tunnel? Or are you heading back?
I guess I'll head back and see if anybody's interested in looking at these sarcophagi in the plaque and see if anybody knows this language. Just for funsies.
It's like, who knows languages other than Sylvan and Elvish?
I know Goblin.
Okay. What about
Common,
Terrell?
Elvish, Giant.
Giant?
Elvish, Goblin.
I thought you knew a little bit of Orcish too, but okay.
No.
I think you know how to cuss and tell people to die in Orcish because you fought them in a war. But probably maybe it depends on what depends on what's on the sign. And if it's in Orcish.
I think you kind of gave that away there.
No. I'm just saying maybe that you should put something down on your sheet about like you speak like a little bit of Orcish, a tiny bit. Like,
It's a bit like my French. I know mad, and that's it.
Yeah, you know how to cuss in Orcish. Cause backstory. So what do you want to do? Like, are you gonna the three of you gonna go ahead forward and just tell everyone to hang back, or are you gonna have the whole group kind of, tippy toe forward to check out these sarcophagi? What are you gonna do?
Well, I mean, it's not. The dwarves might know. I mean, I don't know if it's dwarven. They might know what the language is. I Bellafauna's
yeah.
educated, isn't she?
Well, Bellafauna's like, I know Draconic because I communicate with Euphoria, and I know a little Elvish. I mean, doesn't everybody? And she laughs at that one. And I mean, few languages, like, really, but I don't think I know anything really helpful. And I think Kai also speaks Undercommon, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But did you say that, or am I like, am I stupid?
Common.
But you speak Undercommon as well because you're from your
The
history.
Underdark. I don't know. It's not on my list, but maybe
You need to add that to your list.
Undercommon.
Undercommon. And Bellafana knows a little bit of that secret language that the druids speak to each other. Ragnar, he's like, Ragnar's half dwarvish, so he's like, I know a little dwarvish, but Badger shrugs. He's a dwarf. So the townspeople, conglomerate, they know some dwarvish.
Well, we can go have a look, and obviously don't ring the gong that Yelena's told us about. Even though Tyrell's fingers are twitching.
Kai's probably going to trip over and hit it with his head or something ridiculous like that.
Where was the inscription? Was it on the gong?
No, it's a sign that's on top of the sarcophagi. When the sarcophagi.
Okay, right.
Like, posted.
Let's go take a look.
Yeah, shall we all just go have a snout at it? Yeah.
So is it gonna be the three of you, or is it gonna be like the whole group?
I don't know.
Let's
who
bring the
wants- Yeah.
we want to bring the whole group. I don't know what's beyond. I didn't perceive anything listening for us, right?
Not in
I mean,
that
if it's-
area. Like,
Yeah.
you did not perceive at that point. You did not perceive any creatures nearby in that area. The only creatures you perceived was when you were looking the opposite direction. There was one path where it seemed to be leading towards a location where there were a few goblins.
Right.
But if we want to sell the thing that they're our prisoners, then we really wouldn't leave them behind by themselves, would we?
Well, it depends
Just
on
in
if it.
case somebody comes across.
Yeah. I suppose it's if we're worried about the goblins, will turn up and find them while we're not there.
Yeah. Let's all go. We should.
Let's all go.
We should all go. Maybe.
Okay, fair enough.
So you all go to that chamber in the southwest where the sarcophagi are. Where do you want me to position?
I would leave them just sort of like at the end of the passageway before coming into the room. Just we just tell them to hang fire there.
At this point,
Uh-oh.
Bellafauna's little rat wild shape has expired. In fact, it would have expired at the end of your long rest, and she's like, oh, damn it, I should have long rest. I should have short rested. And she poofs back into her natural form.
While still sat on Ragnar.
Well, as she starts to change, she kind of like slides off, and like so like as she's dropping, she's like shifting form, and when she like by the time she lands on her feet on the ground, she's back into Lady Bellafauna form, and then you hear her say, "Damn it!
Okay.
I need a timer. I need a watch." So she's there. Let me get rid of little Rattiphauna. Because I forgot to have her make a short rest. That means she's out of wild shapes.
Okay.
Sprinkles the goose is going to hold back. And Ragnar and all the townspeople.
Mhm.
They're just kind of hanging back. In what is deeply and ostensibly the tunnel. You get in this area, and Kai, you immediately recognize the language of this sign. It is in Goblinoid. And it says, "Do not open, bad dead." And then in parentheses, it says, "But there are shinies. But bad dead."
I think maybe bypass the sarcophagus and
I mean, that would be the sensible thing to do.
It would,
Yeah.
wouldn't
Yeah, and
But there are
Considering we-
shinies.
it? We're not kobolds. So I think we should take the safer option.
Who knows? Who knows what treasures could be in these sarcophagi? I mean, Terrell just pulled this fantastic sword out of a fountain.
that's true. It's very nifty.
And these sarcophagi look to have been like buried from hundreds of years ago. But if you want to ignore them, if you want to be sensible,
I feel that the DM is really leading things here.
I'm just tempting. I'm just trying to tempt you.
Oh god! I mean, normally I would
but-
be in for it.
But if you want to be sensible and cautious, I'm all for that too. We can just proceed.
I mean, I've only got a 13-point wound now. We can always long rest if we have to afterwards.
It's just 2 sarcophagi that could be opened. And it's not even like, there could be an army of like zombies in one sarcophagi.
Oh,
One
maybe we should
sarcophagus.
just bypass it. It's up to you guys. If you want to open them, I'm all for that. If you want to be sensible, we can. I mean, we could just send Yelena off from here
I
and
feel
see.
like I'm being awful right now.
Well, is there anything we can do to see what would happen if we open the sarcophagus?
Do you
That
have
sounds like
any,
divination.
Do you have any form of divination or precognition? Do you want to
No.
wait? Do you want to wait till tomorrow, build a time machine, and then come back and find out how the session went?
I'm looking at my spell slots. Like, what have I got here? No, I don't think I have anything that's going to be any sort of help.
The
No,
sign
but
does
I've got-
say it's like bad dead from a goblin point of view. It's bad dead, so you know whatever it is going to be like undead probably.
Right, so I've got the Moonbeam spell, which a silver beam of pale light shines down in a 5-foot radius. 5 foot is not that far, is it?
Now that Kai and Terrell are in this room, you guys do perception check.
Okay. Oh, I've got I've got Smite Undead. But I've got Divine Sense. Sorry, hang on. Perception. Come in.
Use your divine sense. Are you going to use your divine sense?
Well, I got a decent perception, so if that doesn't tell me anything, I might do.
You can tell. Well, you can hear a little bit of scratching from the inside of these 2 sarcophagi. Like there seems to be something alive within them. Something animated, at least.
Okay, let me do Divine Sense because that will tell me what they are and how many there are.
It's definitely undead, and you sense there's a creature in each sarcophagus.
So there's 3.
A single creature. But one of them is buried in the wall, so you don't think there's a way to open it unless you just like started hacking on the sarcophagus and completely breaking it apart.
So 2. We could
Yeah.
take 2.
And you also, with a 15, you can pick out kind of a chittering sound. A little bit of like the sound of like, kind of like a tick, 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 like insectoids moving to the northwest. And you smell, there's a faint kind of caustic burn to the air coming from the northwest. You think to the northwest that might be the tunnel where the ant farm is, that one has to be escorted through, or that they were escorted through by a keeper on the way south. Do an insight check, Terrell.
Okay. Oh, that was almost a good roll.
Oh well, I guess anybody else can do an insight check as well, based off of like the assumption that Terrell is sharing this information. But Nobody buys a clue.
Nobody.
Nobody has any more. They're like, okay, it smells kind of acidic. Yeah, okay, well, now that you've pointed out, yeah, in that direction, the air is kind of caustic, and you know, Bellafauna kind of like calls from the other hallway. Yeah, that's where the ants are. I think I remember like that. The ants are from there. Yeah. Me do insight for her. She's not gonna be good at this. Yeah, she rolled a 3.
No, she's not.
This might explain why she's here right now. Lacking insight here.
Oh,
She's
dear.
no help. Because they came from the opposite direction, so she doesn't know anything. But yeah, you think to the northwest, that's where the ant farm is.
Right, and sorry, remind me, did you say that they were taken through the ant farm?
From the opposite direction, they were escorted through that tunnel by the keeper of the ants, whoever was in charge, the
Right, so we would
insect keeper. And they navigated it, kept the ants at bay, so they didn't have any problem with the ants.
Okay.
But there's this sense that, like, okay, you have to be very careful. And the other thing, Terrell, that you notice as you kind of like peer down that tunnel, there seems to be these almost spear-like brambles kind of sticking out of the walls. And then intermixed of these, there's kind of like packed mud, and you can see some little signs of movement of what are probably the warrens of this ant farm. Because of these projections, these kind of like spear-like brambly projections from the walls, you think, you know, it kind of forces anybody moving through that tunnel to tread very carefully. Like, it is difficult terrain.
Okay.
It's not impassable, but it's something you have to be very careful to pass through, and that it would be slightly challenging to pass through it stealthily and to not maybe draw attention. But you know, you just see like it's not the easiest path, but it does sound from what everyone's saying that it is certainly traversable, because that's how they came through, and that seems to be the default path out of the village.
Right, so either way, we're going to have to either go through the goblin village to then go through the ants, or we can bypass the village and go straight to the ant bit.
At least the goblins and the allies of the goblins, they don't seem to really think much of it. They just have that slight caution of having a keeper of the ants go with them to make sure the ants don't get unruly. So it'd be nice maybe if you could fake out the keeper of the ants, if you could find the keeper of the ants to just escort you through this passageway. That's probably how it's normally done.
So we're not bothering
She
to
gives
get
you
back-
the insight answer without totally giving you the insight answer, but like part of the insight answer, even though you guys rolled like crap. I guess that's enough for Kai's 12. That's the insight you get.
Okay, well, the first thing is, do we want to see if there's anything worthwhile in the shiny
But yeah,
sarcophagi?
these sarcophagi, you can tell that there's like one creature in each of the 2 sarcophagi that could potentially be opened. And it does, you know, you can tell that they're definitely undead, Terrell, from your super paladin-y senses.
Mhm.
And what was your perception was 15, so you think it sounds bony, not fleshy.
Okay, it's up to you guys. But I'm all for bashing them.
It's like a scratch, scratch, scratch.
Well, we don't have to open both at the same time. We can just open one.
Right. One at a time.
Yeah.
That's true.
One at a time, just pile on.
Yeah, let's just open
This
them all
poor
and see what
undead thing.
They like tell the others to kind of like scooch back the tunnel a little bit. We're gonna do something. You know, there may be violence, so kind of like back up, you guys, especially you villagers who are like squishy.
Mhm. And I tell Sprinkles to stay.
Bellafauna and Sprinkles change places. Sprinkles is feeling a little bit saucy. She like hisses.
A bit saucy.
And she hisses and she wiggles her butt. She's like, yeah, we're gonna fight, we're gonna fight.
Nice plum sauce, go with goose.
Ooh.
Oh
Sorry,
no.
what's
You know, when she stops being a goose, the gooseness is gonna go away.
happening?
The moment you try to cook Spronkles, she's gonna turn into Sprinkles. Okay. So I've tempted you, I've lured you into opening a sarcophagus. Is that what I'm concluding here?
Yes. Who's
Okay.
going to open it? Terrell?
yeah, I'll open
Just
it.
one of them.
That first one to the north. There.
Alright. These sepulchers are made out of stone. So they're very heavy. They don't just budge open. So it takes Terrell being the strongest amongst you to have a chance to really open them.
Do you have a
Do
crowbar?
There is a crowbar.
Do we have a crowbar? Who has a crowbar?
Yelena has a crowbar.
Give us your crowbar, Yelena.
Where is the crowbar at? Oh, there it is. Yes, I do have it.
It's in your
It's in the
inventory.
bag of holding. All right.
Oh, okay.
Say I've broken out the crowbar.
Fish out your crowbar, hand it over to Terrell.
Mm-hmm.
Terrell, you can click the +2 button.
Yep.
For your and do a strength check. See if you can pry open one of these sarcophagi.
Come on. Oh, you motherfucker.
So you fumble. You know, you get it. There's a little like you think you've got it, and it just raises like a little inch. You think you see a flash of bone, but then the crowbar slips, and the lid of the sarcophagi slams back down, and there's a little poof of dust and dirt.
Right. Can I cast Bless on myself?
You totally can cast Bless on yourself, and I don't know how many
Oh.
other people does it cover.
Hang on. You can bless up to 3 creatures of your choice. It doesn't actually do anything for skill checks.
Skill
It's
check?
just attacks.
Did
Yeah.
you take guidance?
Oh, did I?
I could have sworn
I
last
did,
session that there
yes.
was some guidance happening from you.
Yes, guidance. And add the number roll to one ability check of its choice. Yes.
So try again. This time using, unless there's anything else you want to do to try to make it easier to open this sarcophagus.
Let me just.
Any thoughts? Any
What about-
any thoughts? Any questions from the party?
I'm just wondering if my jade staff will help. You know, with if that's extended leverage, or if I don't suppose a snake would help, or if I
Yeah.
change it to a snake.
Yeah, snakes are not known for their
It's a giant
powerlifting.
poisonous snake, but
Even though they don't have arms, so they're probably not power
true.
lifters.
yeah. The only thing I think of is Kai just firebolts it. If not, I will just try another check. Do I still get the
Kai,
plus
how do you
2?
feel about that suggestion?
Well, that's a it's a spell slot that could be used for killing something or other.
Well, I think Charles
That's
was
true.
talking about the cantrip to firebolt it, not fireball it.
Oh, fireball. Would that work on a sarcophagus? I was thinking of Thunderwave, actually. That's a level 1 spell.
Okay.
And it could potentially move.
It could potentially just explode the sarcophagus and the one behind it.
It could, couldn't it?
Well, should we take that as a backup if this next one fails?
Yeah. Do you want
Yeah.
me to try it?
Just if you get fed up and you just want to explode the whole thing,
Do you want me to try a firebolt though? See what happens.
I was thinking fireball because I thought a fireball wouldn't really do anything, whereas a
yeah.
fireball would.
Fireball would
do
be,
basically what your
kind of
Thunderwave
like,
would do.
Let's incinerate the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's stone. Does stone really burn? And I
If
thought
you
It's
get
not
it-
that. I'm thinking
If
more
you
of
get
it'll
it hot
crack.
enough, stone will melt.
I feel like.
I think your Thunderwave's a better option actually.
Shall we
But
do...
I'm willing to give the prizing off another check now that I've cast guidance on
Yeah,
myself.
go on. Do that.
Okay,
Do
do
that.
I still get the +2 then?
Yeah, sure, because you're still using the crowbar, I assume.
Right, cool. So strength check.
Yelena's
I'll
trusty
say.
crowbar.
Come on, dice. Oh, that's better.
Yes,
There
and
we
with
go.
guidance, it's definitely success. So this time you don't lose your grip, you don't slip on the rock, and you pop the lid right open, almost too enthusiastically. The lid flops open rather than just kind of scooching over just a little bit, so it's partially open. So roll a d20, and if it's odds, it's one thing, and if it's evens, it's another thing. Okay, odds. As the lid flips off, suddenly, kind of rearing into view is a large, hulking, skeletal form with horns. It is a Minotaur skeleton. And I want you all to roll initiative, and then we'll take a little adventurers break before getting into combat.
Sucky initiative roll. Oh, and Yelena again.
Yelena rolls a 20.
Woo.
What did you roll? 20? Oh my god, Moonshine Cherry for me as we go into break.
As we go into break.
Well, that's glorious. I will use the break also to find some kind of suitable skeleton combat music.
Okay.
Oh, it's a big skeleton. He's a big bony boy.
Oh, bloody hell. I'm really glad we only did one at a time then.
He's a big bony boy. All right, everybody. I'm assuming you're ready for a break, so we'll be back in like 5 to 10 minutes.
Okie
Gotcha.
dokie.
Whee! I have returned. Have I taken forever?
No?
I'm here.
Hello.
Oh, I'm the last break. Ah! It's because I took the time to make a martini, make a Manhattan,
Wow.
which I didn't before. But before.
I love how our D&D sessions encourage you to afternoon drink.
It's the biggest time when I drink.
Mm.
It's otherwise I have to go over to like my brother's house or go out to eat. I know it's really sad. I drink all their liquor and my liquor barely gets touched. That's why it's almost like every single time I buy a bottle of gin, I'm like, God, I hate gin, and I just take it over them and give it to them. I'm eating the Moonshine Cherry from Yelena's roll now, by the way. Wagga wagga. Well, we're getting down to the last quarter of the jar. And we're getting on cherry season, so I think I'm going to try to make some homemade moonshine cherries that might be less disgusting. Like, same moonshine poison, better cherry flavor.
Sounds nice.
Here's hoping you guys don't roll more of those. Now, Sirenscape being lovely. Oh, and I assume we're all physically, if not emotionally, prepared at this point. Me being the last, as usual. Sirenscape was nice enough to have a Minotaur skeleton fight. All ready for me. Or us. So here we go. Metal!
Oh, heavy metal.
Yeah, it's Minotaur skeleton! I did roll, Spronkles is sharing your initiative, Terrell.
Sure.
And I rolled for Lady Bellafana too. She rolled a natural 20, but I'm not eating a cherry for that. Yelena, you're at the start of initiative. You're waiting for this moment. Something was jumping out of that sarcophagus, and it's here.
All right. Let's see. I think bonus action I'm going to do Hail of Thorns. Because this is a big dude, I'm assuming.
Hey-yo! He's a big
Hail of
skeleton
Thorns.
boy. Big bony boy.
So do I drag that to myself? Do I do anything, or do we just?
Hell if I know.
Let's.
Honestly, I'd have to look at you to interpret how it's set up.
So range is self.
I think you drag it to yourself, and it applies whatever additional damage there is the next time you hit. The next time you hit a creature with a ranged weapon attack before the spell ends, the spell creates a rain of thorns as well as a ranged weapon. So I think you would drag the effect to yourself, and the damage will automatically apply when you hit him in the next minute, assuming your concentration is not broken. At 12, thankfully, you are so boss.
That actually hit.
12 just manages to hit, because he's just a bony boy.
He's just a bony boy, okay.
No armor. Those bones are just all out there.
Did it add the...
I don't think it added your extra damage. So what extra damage does the Hail of Thorns apply? Because I only see your normal damage and your psychic damage.
1d10.
Roll a d10 then, and I will apply it to the skeleton. Ooh, 8! And wowee.
Because Yelena wants to get out of here. Let's hurry up and kill this thing. That's one shot. Do I get... Oh god, I can't remember. Do I get 2? Do I get a second?
I think you do get multi-attack now.
Okay.
Does your abilities page say multi-attack? I think you got that level 5. I can look at your abilities page.
Doesn't
So
have
mine don't say that, but I
Mine
thought I
doesn't
did
say
as well.
Extra attack. It does say
Extra attack.
Okay.
Okay, yes.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, you can shoot him again. Lies. It says you're attacking while out of ammo. I know that's not true. I know you have a shit ton of ammo.
I've got a shit ton of ammo.
What is Fantasy Grounds thinking? You hit him with a 12 again.
Alrighty.
It's a bad day for being a bony boy. So you do 12 more damage. And while you've done a lot of damage, you've broken off a couple ribs. He's there, and you see now he is pulled up from beside him in the sarcophagus, a gleaming, shiny great axe. And he is wielding it like he died yesterday. You've used your bonus action, you've done 2 attacks. I think that's it for you for your turn, unless you want to move.
I'll stay put for right now.
Okay. Lady Mecha-Villager, it's her turn. She picks up a rock from the ground, like a handful of rocks from the ground, and she casts Magic Pebble. And she throws a magic rock at this guy. And she misses because she only rolled an 8. Yeah. This is not her day for success and victory, Lady Mecha-Villager. It's not been a good day for her. The Minotaur Skeleton, it is his turn to act. And he uses his movement to crawl out of the sarcophagus. And he takes a swing at Terrell with his shiny, gleaming weapon. And rolls a natural 20.
Well, fuck you.
You guys all have to eat with cherries. So he does 30 damage to Terrell with a...
Bloody hell! I take back what I said.
With a humongous swing of his axe. But he only gets that 1 attack, so his turn is over. Spronkles! The townsfolk, they're staying in the back. They're like not even aware of what's going on. Ragnar is guarding the townsfolk. He's not even aware of what's going on. It's down to Sprinkles the goose, and she sees you get this powerful swipe across your rib cage. You sees the slash that it did to your armor. She sees the blood, and Sprinkles the goose, I think, is enraged. What does Sprinkles the goose do?
Oh no! Well, knowing Sprinkles, she will run and hiss at the thing. So
She's
I'm
a
hoping.
mad goose.
What do geese sound like when they hiss? Is it that?
I think it's just a hiss.
I don't know.
And their tongue waggles.
She runs across the ground to next to me, and the wings out. And go.
She runs 10 feet towards the target. That means that the Mitra skeleton has to make a wisdom saving throw, right? Or become frightened of her.
Yes, DC 12.
Okay. Wisdom. Yeah, not a wise Minotaur skeleton. Only rolled an 8. So the Minotaur is frightened of Spronkles. And his next turn, he's going to want to move to get away from Spronkles.
Cool.
So Spronkles is like defending you with her little goose body. She's like, no, you don't slash my Tyrell friend. Not today, skeleton. No, bony boy. Your tyranny stops here with my little goose body. And now it's your turn, Tyrell.
Okay, I am going to attack him, or attempt to attack him. Hang on, Sprinkles is in the way. With my bow blade.
$15 hits. Oh, do you
Okay.
hear that? I heard a little swooshy sound, like a little swipey sound from your
I
weapon.
did.
You heard
Okay.
it? Yay!
So, I want to do the Divine Smite, which gives me extra damage against undead.
Ooh.
So, do I do my normal attack and then add this to it? I assume so. Yes, because it deals extra damage. Okay, so my normal attack. My normal damage.
Normal damage, 15 damage to that Minotaur skeleton. And one of its arms blasts off. No, wait, not one of its arms. Well, because that means he wouldn't be able to attack if we get around to him again. But you managed to, like, bonk out more of his ribs, and one of his horns is gone.
Okay, I'm fairly sure I should have applied that before I did the things.
If all else fails, you can roll the damage into just the chat window, and I'll add it.
Okay,
manually.
so it's 2d8.
It's like radiant damage.
Yes.
Oh, he does have some kind of effect. Like, it should have applied stuff, but I don't know what's happening. 6 more damage to him. You see that this Minotaur skeleton, for all of its large, hulking, bony boy frame, he's become significantly broken down and ratchet from this encounter with you.
Good. I get another attack.
You get another attack, so attack him again, if that is your choice.
I will do so. Oh my god.
12 just hits. 12 is the number of the day. It's just enough to hit him.
Okay, so I think I want to do another divine, smite.
Another smite.
Might as well. So again, another 2d8 radiant.
Uh, 10 points of damage additionally. At this point, you do chop an arm off. So the Minotaur skeleton, you can see he's got, like, this time he's not two-handing the Great Axe anymore. So if he manages to attack with it again, he will not be able to do as much damage. You've got him on the ropes.
Good.
And that is your turn, and the next person to act is Kai. Kai! Finish him!
Yeah, I'm gonna do, well, I'll try. I'm going to do a firebolt. Hey.
All right, with a 25, your firebolt fires true, like zoink, straight for the Minotaur skeleton, and you sizzle the remaining bones into ash.
Julia.
Minotaur skeleton is dust now,
Yes.
much like the goblins that live in these caverns. The only thing remaining to show he was ever here
Some
is a
purple splodge.
gleaming, shining, very nice great axe.
Terrell, I think that might be nice for you.
But I don't do two-handed weapons.
Oh. Well, you can carry it and then we can sell it.
You feel like, yeah, you could sell this for a chunk of change. It's definitely not like just trash you picked up. It looks like it's pretty nice. You think there could be some resale value there. You also
Okay.
find, I like how it left like a purple splodge where he fell rather than a red one. Like, we now know that Minotaur skeletons have purple blood, apparently. Purple ashes. It's like an interesting choice. Oh, there's I still have Black Earth plate armor in the inventory for some reason. I don't know why. There's still another sarcophagus.
Yeah.
Well, can we see what's in the other one before we go opening the one that's still closed? Like, you know, in case the shinies aren't really worth it.
Oh, you're saying you want to check the open sarcophagus in case there's anything else in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
The open sarcophagus, you find a few coins.
Is that it?
I think the big thing was the shiny great
The
axe.
shiny axe. You find about 18 platinum, 22 gold pieces, 32 silver pieces. So a little bit of chunk of change. There's like 65 gold for each of you. I think it about amounts to. And this nice axe, which I don't think I hid. I think it's open for you to see that it's +1 great axe.
Yeah.
Okay, so shall we open the other one then?
Yeah. Can I just do a lay on hands before we do that?
Sure.
Yeah.
Because that
was a mighty
Minotaur.
swipe. Like that was like a time to have a natural 20 right there.
Yeah. Good. In fact, I'm going to stay that. Right. All right. On the assumption I've still got the crowbar from Yelena tucked away, I will have another go at the next sarcophagi.
Okay.
Yeah, +2 again.
Strength check +2, and don't forget to guidance yourself because I'm telling you what to do. I'm sorry.
Thank you. No, that's fine. Do a guidance. So, hang on. Did it properly that time. Oh, that was almost an 18.
Well, roll your d4. No, actually, that's not going to be enough, even with a d4. So unless someone does something else to this sarcophagus against the wall to make it easier to open, to weaken the stone, you can try again. Someone could assist you and give advantage as well if they felt buff enough. Like Ragnar maybe was buff enough to, if you want to call him forward.
Yeah, also Badger is a stonemason, so I'm just wondering if he would have.
Yeah, if you want to bring the cadre of townsfolk into range.
But it puts him into danger, doesn't it?
He could raise you to a +5.
What about if I use the great axe to whack it?
You could use the great axe to whack it. If you want to just whack it. Weaken the stone.
Yeah.
You can do an attack roll. I'm just looking to see if you roll a natural 1.
Okay, hang on. Do I need to pull it into my inventory, or do you just want me to do an attack roll? Oh, I'll have to do it with the axe or what?
Just do a d20. Okay.
God
So
damn.
you have no problem. You know, it's like a stationary object, the sarcophagus. It's huge. So while you hit it, you may not hit it with the most powerful, forceful strike, but you do 1d12 damage to the stone. So roll a d12.
Okay. That wasn't terrible.
So you do 8 damage, chipping away at the stone at a point on the lid, and that adds a +1. Makes it lowers the DC by 1 to open this. So you can do another strength check.
Okay.
Remember to hit the +2 because you're using the crowbar.
Yep.
Use guidance if you so choose.
Hang on. Then with a D4. Ah.
It's still not. It's like holding you. Yeah,
I'm gonna
like you keep like it's slippery. You're like, did somebody grease the sarcophagi here? Because I'm not getting purchase with Yelena's crowbar. It keeps slipping.
I'm surprised whoever's in there is not like, oh god, let me just move it.
Let me just help you. Yeah. Let me out.
Ragnar moves forward and he's like, do you want some help? Do you want some help? I can help you pry it. You know, I can jiggle it a little. I can nudge it. I got these like, you know, arms that are like hams. I can do it. And he'll give you advantage.
All right. So it's a +2 and advantage. And a strength check.
Jesus!
What the hell?
Just shoot me now.
Roll a d4 for your guidance, but oh my god! That is actually enough! The 4 is what you needed!
Bloody hell, that was way too much effort. There's better be something bloody good in here.
It's because the sarcophagus is up against the wall that, like, you were trying to just shove it aside, you know, like it wasn't clicking. You know, the common sense wasn't kicking in here, that you couldn't just shove it aside like the lid of the other sarcophagus, that this sepulcher was up against the wall, and you kept shoving it against the stone, the earthen barrier that was behind it. This time you thinking, oh, let me shove it to the side, and you just managed to move it open and open it. This time there is not a Minotaur skeleton within, but there is this bony figure. You know, it doesn't have the girth, the presence that the Minotaur skeleton have, but it does have this strangely jubilant expression on its bony skull. And as it comes to view and stands up from the sepulcher, it starts to cackle this like unearthly sound. Roll initiative. This cackling skeleton rises to greet you. I think I accidentally added 2 cackling skeletons to the initiative order. I will not find specific. And Yelena notices immediately that the skeleton is well dressed. No, you can't see all the bones on this boy. They're wearing an outfit that looks quite elegant. It's quite green as well. And they're wearing just these beautiful green leather boots.
Cool.
And wielding a silver dagger.
Okay.
Yelena, you're at the top of the attack order again. I'm ruling for Lady B to get her probably out of the because she's way down at the bottom. Yelena, you're at the top of the attack order.
I do not see something to shoot here.
Oh, because I'm dumb. I didn't make him visible. Or drag him to the map. Boop.
Skeleton boy. All right.
Laughing at you.
Ooh, we're just gonna shoot. I'm assuming that's a miss.
No, it hit.
It
Good
hit.
grief.
He's just wearing clothing. It's very nice green clothing. You respect the fashion game, but it isn't very armoring.
So funny because I've got the side window covered by the map, so I can't see if it hits or misses. I'm having to rearrange stuff.
It's a surprise.
It's a surprise.
So you've hit this cackling skeleton.
Excellent. All right, 1 second. Where is
with a 10. Man. Doing 15 damage. You whack it. Half the ribcage off the skeleton is
laughing now. Keep laughing.
And you see like the form, the shape, like he had such a good look with like this outfit that he's got over the bones, and now it's like, oh, like you broke the mannequin. and some of the cloth is just kind of, like sagging instead of being draped nicely. Yeah, the flare is gone.
The flare's gone, alas.
You get a second attack.
Yep. Arg. Don't mind me having window issues here. I'm sure this is exciting.
Super exciting. Like, I'm not even showing the combat on the Twitch stream. This is so super exciting. Let me adjust the window for the people who haven't seen any of this.
There we go. That feels more like a real hit. That's more satisfying.
Oh yeah, that's a palpable hit. You rolled a natural 19 for a 27. Kaboom! You shot him right in right in the head, avoiding all of the lovely green clothing. Doing 12 additional damage. And this cackling skeleton looks brittle now. There is no fashion anymore. It's just kind of like bobbing and weaving, and it's barely chuckling, no longer cackling. You've taken all of the vim out of this buddy. And now it is Terrell's turn.
Okay. Right, well, we will go with the standard attack.
You think the skeleton's on half a leg. Like, its skull is pretty much missing, and it's only like the bottom jaw of its teeth showing, and then the rest of the body. And with one swipe of the weapon of your bow blade, the skeleton collapses to dust. And the clothing eerily it collapses into a pile. And what was once an elaborate green garment with flowy sleeves, lovely shape, really flattering, it suddenly turns into this drab pile of homespun tan beige kind of cloth. And there's a pair of boots sitting there immaculately, still green leather.
Are they magical boots?
And a silver dagger that the skeleton was once wielding collapses on top of it. And the silver dagger kind of gleams with the sheen of the metal. And the green leather boots, have a nice sheen to them too.
Okay.
Examining this sarcophagus.
Take a look at it. So, are the boots or the dagger magical?
You find those green boots. You're naturally drawn to them, Yelena.
They are green.
They seem like good boots.
Just shake the bones out of them.
Simply for the sake of fashion. And then there is a silver dagger, which I'm gonna it's identified. It's a silver dagger. It's pretty obvious. Like this. Oh, this dagger has been coated in silver. Ironically, that is excellent for fighting the undead.
Undead, exactly.
And the undead was wielding it, so yeah. Not only were they well dressed, but they were self-referencing. And you find a
There's-
total. You find some more coin again. So you find a total of 36 platinum pieces between the 2 sarcophagi, 45 gold, and 32 silver. And this pair of footwear that these green leather boots look nice. They're green, they're leather. They're in pristine condition, considering they've been buried in the sarcophagi for probably centuries. The rest of the clothing, what previously looked like this verdant ensemble that was gleaming, is now this tattered, worn, aged piece of threadbare cloth in a pile in the sarcophagus. So you
There's
feel
not
like there was
special about that.
You feel like there was some kind of magic foot that made it appear differently before. So maybe these boots were part of it.
Kai, can you tell if those are magic?
I do not know. Can I check?
Kai has absolutely no skills, I think, in detecting magic.
Yeah, all she can do is blush it up.
Do you have
All I
identify?
can do is what? No.
I know you don't have the detect magic spell yet because we've like made a big deal out of it, out of how Kai chose only murder magic.
Yeah.
Blush it up.
Yeah. No, I don't have anything that can.
And no practical parties supporting spells. It's like if we can manifest damage as something useful and helpful, then Kai is helpful.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, no support spells. My God, no support spells. Will a fireball identify these boots?
I've got. Yeah, I could probably shine them with a bit of something, but
You did. I mean, you did like identify some stuff. Are you sure you don't have identify? Because I feel like back when you were at that old woman's at Uluvan,
Well, not just spending time with it though.
or was that just spending time with it?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
can't
Okay.
I do an Arcana check or no? Would that
Uh,
not work?
Yeah, if you roll a really high Arcana check, maybe you can have an insight as to what the boots are.
Nice.
But no, Kai
The boots.
Kai picks up these green leather. I mean, they look nice. The green. I like purple. I prefer purple. But, you know, you probably like it. You like green, Yelena.
So I'm
Yeah.
debating whether we should try the boots on now and see what bad things happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're boots. Maybe they're a mimic. I mean, rolled a 1, so they could be a mimic.
Oh gosh.
Maybe you
We
should
can
be
go-
careful before you put your feet in them.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Do you do what you like with them, Yelena?
You know.
All right, I'll take them in my inventory, but I won't try them on right now.
But at the moment, without really spending time with them and inspecting them more, you can't tell what might be. Like, if these are magic, they might just be nice leather green boots. So I'm gonna assign those to the boots to Yelena. Because I have drunk a martini in rapid speed, I left off the Y in your name. Who took the great axe? Did anyone take the great axe?
No, because I mean, I'm more the sword and board, so
You've got more strength to carry it to the.
yeah.
to the
I mean,
shop.
I can take it. I don't
Are
mind
you
taking
going
it.
to take this +1 great axe for resale purposes, or do you want to leave it behind?
Sale.
Take it for resale purposes.
So who's going to take it for resale purposes?
I will do it. I will obviously split the.
And the silver dagger. Does anyone want to take the silver dagger?
Or if it's no use to anybody else, then I can take it to sell.
Mm-hmm.
Unless-
To sell. In case you run into more dead things.
Yes. Yeah. I could
Because-
always chuck it.
You know by default that like silver stuff is good for like stabbing the undead and shapeshifters. since you had that recent run-in with shapeshifters, it would have probably come in handy against those guys back in Ulavan, if only.
Yeah. I'll have that if nobody else
And-
wants it.
I will distribute this stuff to your inventories and the monies.
Cool.
There is still 2 silver and 1 copper in the party inventory. It's the party kitty. Just enough to maybe buy a beer. I don't know. Not much. But you have broken up these two sarcophagi. At this point, coming from the northwest, you hear the sounds of a goblin. A goblin appears from that tunnel.
We've still got our masks on, haven't we?
You have your masks on.
He's moving!
Yeah, he is! Yay! I can't move the rust monster because apparently I am not good at stuff. He has a little rust monster companion with him. The goblin steps forward. Did I make the rust monster visible?
Mm-mm.
No, I can't see a rust monster.
Yeah, I can't either.
What am I like?
There you
And he's like, hey, you guys! You're supposed to ring the gong! What are you doing? Oh, you opened the sarcophagi! You're not supposed to open the sarcophagi!
But you broke the things. You broke the bony guys. Okay. That's not so bad. That's kind of nice. Okay, you know what you're doing. Hey, what are you doing here?
Is he speaking goblin or common?
He's speaking common because he sees you guys, and he's like, he recognized your masks. So he assumes, it's like, hey, these are cultist guys. But he's like, what are you doing here? We have protocol! Make a noise! You gotta just hit the gong, you guys. You need
I'm right at the
escort?
back. One of you two's gonna have to talk to him. I'm right at the back.
What are you doing?
Or should we just explain to him that we're escorting some prisoners out somewhere?
Yeah.
Ragnar at this point is the only prisoner in view, and he cowers to try to sell it.
Excellent.
Yeah. Well
The other
done.
guys are back in the back in the tunnel, out of view.
Yeah. Well, I kind of prod Ragnar forward a bit so that we're covering the tunnel entrance. If we go there, and then I will surreptitiously gesture at the other two to just come down the tunnel slightly, so they can.
Belafana and the cadre of townsfolk kind of shuffle forward, and they try to act really meek.
Yeah. So we tell the goblin that we're just escorting prisoners out, and they need to just get out of the way.
You salvage some meat from the attack. Yeah. What you gonna do with them now? Gonna take them upstairs?
Yeah. And put them in prison.
Put in prison? What's a prison? You gonna put them to work?
Yeah. Well, sort of. Well, it's kind of like a prison. We'll put them in a prison in the night, and then when we've got some tasks that we want them to do, we'll take them out and make them do them. Look, Goblin, just get out of the way. We know what we're doing.
Okay. Well, do you know what you're doing?
Okay, roll a deception check.
Perception or deception? Deception.
Well, you're certainly not perceiving anything. You're trying to perceive this.
Do we really want me to do this role, everybody?
You're
Okay.
trying
You're
to
talking to
deceive this goblin that you know what you're doing.
No.
A 14 is enough. A 14 is absolutely enough. He's like,
Okay, I was going to ask, like, who's your boss? 'Cause you seem kinda weird. Hey, do you know if anybody else survived the flooding? Do you know? Do you? Ha 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 ha.
Should we make the hand sign to him? Not sticking the finger up, but the other thing.
I mean, there is another hand sign which I keep thinking of, but I'm fairly sure that's not appropriate either.
Well, it's a triangle. Isn't it?
what hand sign? You gonna give him the triangle?
Yeah, the thing that we learned from somebody or other.
So
Yeah, Belfauna.
Belfauna described.
Oh,
You
yeah,
give him the
yeah.
triangle, and the goblin like, yeah, gives you the triangle back. He's like,
Yeah, you go people, yo. I think you need to go through. You want the passage?
Yes.
You gonna walk see with me? Take a prisoner safely through this corridor? Huh? I'll show you my ants. Do you want to see my ants?
Your ass.
My ants!
Yes,
Oh,
ant.
I show you my ants for free, but I got the buggies! I got my buggies in the wall!
I don't want to see no goblin's ass.
He flashes you briefly from his loincloth. He's a bit cheeky about it.
But like, no, I'm talking about my buggies, my little ant friend.
Right.
The
the
acid ants, you know what we're about. You did the sign, you know all this shit, okay?
Yeah, you're an Antkeeper. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the keeper of the ants. It's a very prestigious position with the goblins. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna look at Yelena and Terrell and sort of like, in my look, ask a question and to say, do we want to see the ants or do we just want to get out?
I mean, I feel like if we say no, he's gonna.
Well, don't we need to walk through the ants to get out?
Yeah.
So we might as well see the
Yeah.
ants.
Okay, yeah, go on then, show us your arms.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go through my passage. Oh yeah, let me show you my ants. I mean, you could go the other way.
He's gonna show us his passage now, is he? Bloody hell.
Oh my word!
He's very excited.
Ah,
You've impressed him that you're the real deal. You're totally like the real cultist deal. So he escorts you along this this tunnel that is barricaded.
He's like, tipito nicely. Tipito, don't touch anything.
And as he escorts you through this tunnel, and you see these briars kind of like poking out like spears about 2 feet from the walls, that if you were caught in combat in this zone, it would be very precarious because it'd be easy for opponents to kind of shove you against these spears and you would possibly be impaled against them. So it's nice that you're allowed to take it slowly and carefully through this tunnel.
And it's good our owlbear is a goose.
And it's also very good that your owlbear is a goose, because
Although she might have been able to sort of barrel through that.
in some places it would have been a tight squeeze, but she probably would have gotten a few scratches and ickies. But in between the briars and the spears of bristle like wood that is poking out from the walls, you see that it's been packed with mud in places, and that various tunnels have been built, and there's little peepholes where you can see the ants kind of crawling and networking through. There are hundreds of them, and the air becomes very caustic and heavy. It almost singes your nose hairs as you walk through this area. Everybody roll a Constitution check.
Check or save.
Just a
Oh,
Wreck.
fucking hell.
Save, a save, yeah, a save. I'm sorry.
Save, okay.
Save is fair, yeah.
It gives me a chance to
If
roll
it
slightly better, but not
We're
by
not
much.
doing great here.
I'm gonna say that Kai is fine. I'm gonna take your 18 from before. So Kai is fine. But the Kai, it's effortless. Like, you've smelt worse things in the Underdark.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing. This is like this is gorgeous. This is just like happy fun
Moon-
times.
moon drafts on a summer's
Yeah.
day.
What smell? There's no smell. But Yelena, Terrell, and everybody else, they kind of find yourself as you go through this tunnel. You find yourself coughing, like it's irritating your lungs. That there seems to be like this faint sheen of acid floating in the air through these tunnels that is the ant farm. And it is irritating your lungs. And you know that had you tried to stealth your way through this tunnel, it wouldn't have worked because your coughing would have brought attention to yourselves. Kai would have been the only person who slinked through here without a problem. But you find yourself, after a few minutes of travel, on the other side. And as you emerge from the acid tunnels, the ruins of the previous civilization, which I no longer remember the name of because it's been months and those notes are not in front of me, and you can arrange yourself accordingly. You find yourself in the ruins of that former civilization that Secomber is built upon. There are two stairwells to the east. And at this point, the Antkeeper salutes you. He's back at his position of where he guards and keeps the ants. So he salutes you farewell. And as he waves you bye-bye, he says, "Next time, ring the fucking gong!" And he motions you off to the east.
Love it. I guess we go east. All right. I kind of nudge the, in sarcastic quotes, prisoners in front of me.
As you poke to the east, you see that there is a large stone chamber. This chamber is filled with multiple goblins, all on guard duty. I'm doing a bad job at doing this quickly. I don't know if I'm making the right dudes visible, but hey. You see the to the north, there's this one guy I need to find. To the north of this room, there are two goblins that look to be like the more kind of seasoned, experienced goblin guys. And they seem to be playing some kind of games involving sticks of wood and firecrackers. They keep setting up these firecrackers, and there's like this crackle, 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 crackle. And they're scooping up pieces of wood and stuff. They're a bit distracted. And to the south of them, there are these four grunt goblins that are keeping guard. And they see you. They see the masks the cult of Black Earth, and they kind of nod, like, "Ooh, yeah, I know you are." But they don't say anything. The two in the north are completely distracted, and the most hardy-looking specimens in this room. This room is kind of it. While it is definitely part of the ruins of the old civilization, it has suffered some decay over time. There's signs of multiple rock falls, though they do seem to be very old with time. There are some different holes, like in the corners. There are some piles of rocks. There seems to be a few holes in the floor, like where it goes down a little bit, but like it's just like a little tiny pits in the corners. But the room is also dominated by a very large opening in the center of the floor, as well as the ceiling overhead by about 15 feet. And there's a heavy hemp rope that dangles in the center of these openings that extends both vertically, like it's like vertically traverses the room and goes both up and down. You find yourself here in the room. The people in charge of the north are distracted. The grunts to the south, they recognize your mask, so they're not questioning you, and they're not a high enough authority to really question you at this point from their position in Goblin society, whatever is going on here.
Well, should we just put our shoulders back and stroll in there like we belong and go on our merry way up north?
I think that's as good a choice as any, but we've got more than just north, haven't we?
Well, the that way, the east, looks like it's going down onto that tunnel that we ignored earlier.
Yes.
So I'm thinking north out of this room. Then
Okay.
we'll take this room.
You guys
Maybe.
all can do like an insight or a survival check.
Okay. What's best? Insight. Alright, insight.
Kaboom!
Oh no!
I win.
Why do I keep making these choices? Okay, moonshine cherry for me. The map isn't freaking moving to the side like I want it to move to the side to center it for the stream. So I'm very sad about that right now. But Kai, you absolutely have a sense of what's going on. Yelena, you have a pretty good sense of orientation, how the layout is compared to the scouting that you did previously. She says, trying to talk while she finds her spoon for the moonshine cherries. And Kai is certain based off of your report earlier from scouting. But yeah, the path to the east, you feel like that's going to intersect with that underground tunnel from before and lead wherever that leads? To the south, you figure, well, that's the way you came from. I don't know if that goes anywhere good. You kind of get the sense because the leaders are like the buff goblins, the goblins that are probably in charge but distracted, are to the north side, that maybe the north side might be more important.
Okay.
It's also the sense you rolled survival. Everybody rolled survival, only Trail rolled insight.
Mhm.
Kai, with a natural 20, I'm just going to say that you get this impression, like, from the chute that it is in the center of this room, the rope that's hanging there, you know it goes down, and you wonder, goblins being goblins, having to travel underground, you wonder if not only if that rope doesn't head down, maybe the mines are below you right now that were flooded once. that were flooded by the attack. But you wonder if maybe above that rope doesn't lead to an exit to the surface.
Perhaps we should try climbing the rope then.
I mean,
From
it's
your
a,
vantage point, you can't get a closer look at what's going on there, but just based off of your interpretation, you wonder if that's why there's so many guards here, that they are guarding against people coming into their village from the locations that are accessible from the chute in the middle of the room.
the thing is, do we think the prisoners and everything are able to climb up?
Lady Bella Watts might not be able to.
From what you can see currently, it's just the heavy rope. It's a very substantial rope. They'd have to be able to climb up a rope, and you can't tell from the distance right now whether or not there's anything additional that would assist in a climb.
We have the ladder still, right? We went back and got the ladder.
How high?
You do have a 50-foot collapsible ladder / bridge thing.
Okay, so do we
maybe if you lean it to the side, you'd have to be pretty careful. Everyone had to be very cautious, because you don't want that ladder slipping and falling down into the flooded below.
and losing it.
Yeah, but your ladder is definitely 50 feet. You can't tell from this point exactly how high the chute. There's obviously an opening, and it obviously extends above, but you can't tell from this vantage point how much it might extend above.
Why don't we just act like we know what we're doing and walk over and have a look?
Yeah, 'cause the guys to the south, they're at least acknowledging that, hey, you're cultists. They're not going to question you. They're grunts.
Okay.
And the guys who might question you haven't noticed you yet. They're busy playing with whatever they're playing in to the north.
Shall we just wander in then?
Yep. I mean, if you two go have a look, and I will stand with these guys, at the bottom of the stairs, as if I'm guarding them, sort of thing.
Spronkles runs forward to the edge of the opening, and she looks down, and she starts honking.
Oh no.
And the guys to the north, the goblins to the north, one of them looks like it has several vials hanging from its belt that swish with one swishes with a green liquid it suggests the acid association. Another is this tightly you can't see what's inside it, but it's a vial that the sides have been blacked out so as to not allow light in. And then the other guy is just this kind of really beefy goblin for goblins. And they look up and they hear this goose, and they're like, Vas! But in the time it takes for them to notice that there's this goose, honking, where they don't normally see geese, Kai has a chance to look up in the chute. And Kai, you see above you that there are pittons that have been hammered into the sides of that chute upward, assisting with anyone who's climbing it on the rope to give them a foothold. And that it seems to extend about 20-25 feet above head, ending with some kind of stone cover, and there's a handle on it. You can tell this because you have dark vision.
Okay. So potentially a quicker way out.
You peer down below, and it seems to be quite a drop, at least 50 feet. And you think you can make out that there is some just kind of still water at the base of it now. The road continues extending down, and there are also pitons leading down. But you think maybe this used to be like a quick access to the mines below?
Okie doke. So relaying all that to the rest of the party. What
The
do we
guards,
think?
as you're relaying this to the party, the guards from the top, the beefy goblins, they stride forward. They kind of like dropping their stones, looking a little bit disappointed that their game is interrupted, and they're like, "Ooh, what you do here? You survivors from the attack, cha-cha-cha."
Should we do the finger sign again?
You're making
I see.
passage. What you got a goose for?
Dinner.
Huh?
Our dinner, not
Feast.
yours.
You're bringing goose to chief? Have nice
Yeah.
feast dinner to share with friends. Okay, do a deception check with advantage. Because you are you did the sign and you're wearing the mask.
Not with advantage, is it?
That wasn't with advantage.
Advantage.
You click the ADV at the bottom.
And guide if you're gonna guide.
Oh,
Right, hang on a minute,
I
hang
would
on a
like to guide. Hang on. Let me do guidance. Right, give that a try. Didn't add +4 to it.
Okay, roll a d4. Actually,
Me.
13 I think is what the DC was, but you know, hey. But this is just for excellence. 14 is definitely enough for the DC. He's like, okay, yeah. He believes that you are who you say you are. Everyone, roll a perception check. Everyone who wasn't Kai. So Terrell and Yelena roll perception checks for what might have been happening before this point. Yeah. So you didn't manage to overhear anything while Kai was doing their investigation, but you are recognized as being okay. They believe that you are cultists, and that they're obviously aware that the mines below were attacked, and they like assumed that you are leading survivors to some other place. And at this point, Goblin, the one who doesn't have the vials on its belt, the one who's just beefy, kind of looks like a boss or some kind of captain or lieutenant or sergeant of the Goblin forces. It says, "Are you meeting with the chief? Are you taking back some of the supplies to Secomber?
Yes.
Shall I escort you? Shall I take you to your destination? Or do you know the way?"
We know the way. We're fine. It's good. It's all good.
Okay, I'll lead you to it. Goblins, go play our game. He like nudges the goblin beside them. And they'll think they're picking up the Boompowder. They're gonna pick up the Boompowder. Do you think they're picking up the Boompowder for the plan?
Oh, good lord.
So you see, like, Boompowder for the plan. You hear him say to the other goblin next to him.
So they're gonna blow some up then?
Sounds like it, doesn't it? I don't know if
Kai's
there's any
the
way.
only one who gets to blow shit.
And as he says, allow you to go your own way, he seems to be gesturing to the north. Like, that is the expected way for you to go.
Okay.
Okay, so do we want to go north to see? Because they're expecting us to pick it up. So does that mean if we go north, we will find the Boompowder?
and then we can steal it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Let's do
Sounds
it.
like a plan, Yelena, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Then I will prod the prisoners and we'll head north.
Okay, I'm removing these people from the map. Because you have convinced them so thoroughly that you're on the up and up. I've lost a goblin. I don't know where they went. Oh, they're right in front of me. Okay.
1 and 2 are still on the map.
So, let me reveal. So you head north up a flight of stairs. Once you reach a T section, once you go up the stairs. I'll catch up with these sounds.
More spikes.
More spikes out of the wall. This one particular area of the T section. You see to the west side of the corridor, there is another goblin and a rust monster kind of just standing watch. I think I
Okay.
had them visible.
Yep.
Okay. They're just kind of standing watch. They haven't noticed you quite yet. And there is a path kind of like to the north leading off from where they are, more spikies. And the tunneling there kind of shifts from being ruins into more stone-hewn, burrowed tunnels again. To the east, though, it seems to be ruins. And you note to the east, there's also seems to be maybe more goblins. Peering around the corner, just peering around the corner. There's looks to be a few more guards of goblin variety waiting down the tunnel to the east. A heavier amount of forces than to the west.
Which way was out again?
To the east, there seems to be more guards to the east than to the west. And to the east, there also seems to be kind of like a well kind of structure. To the east, it is more like ruins. To the west, it is more just the stone warrens that have been dug out.
Both directions lead out? Or do we know which way we're supposed to go?
I don't think we know, do we? Do we want to just ask that goblin, just sort of like say we're here for the Boompowder? Where is it? Oh,
You could try.
So you question the goblin to the west.
yeah.
Here for the
We think-
Boompowder.
Yeah.
Roll a persuasion check or intimidation, depending on how you want to express yourself. Do you want to like try to intimidate them? Are you aggressive with demanding for the Boompowder? Or are you like persuasive, like, hey, I'm here for the Boompowder, help me out. Which one are you?
More persuasion?
Okay, so roll a persuasion check.
Oh, is it
Oh,
me
God.
that's just doing this now? It doesn't feel safe.
Yeah, because I'm at the back.
Well, I mean, whoever's going to persuade. I mean, you don't have to be held captive by wherever you're placed on the map, because there's so many like little people.
I think
Alright, well-
I think we should all try.
Then
'cause-
can I try intimidation and just stand there looking like glowering at him?
Sure.
Do that. Oh, fuck off. My dice hate me.
Terrell, I think you actually have 13 is just enough. Like, that's the bare minimum that you needed. And I'm assuming you could have guidanced yourself too.
I could, but I feel like guidance. Am I allowed to guidance myself on every roll?
The 13 is the DC. And you're like,
Okay.
we're here to pick up the Boompowder. Where is it? And the goblin seems a little bit confused at that point, but this makes sense to him. And he's like, he points to the east, and he's like, the source of Boompowder is that way. And then he points to the north, and he's like, the Boom Maker, he's that way. His laboratory.
Oh, crikey. So the source would be like the raw materials. So the laboratory would be where the actual stuff they're using to blow something up would be, presumably. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I give him the triangular hand signal and say thank you.
He gives you the triangular hand signal back. Kind of puffs out his chest, like he knows shit.
Go north then?
Which way are you going? You're going north?
I think so. I think we need to see what's in that laboratory.
You usher everybody north. The tunnel has turned into hewn stone. Smooth walls. There's another little section that is bound by spikes. But while it is careful going, there's no problem in navigating it and avoiding any injury. It just, you just couldn't rush through there quickly. So you head to the north through this tunnel, and you get quite a ways. And you reach a point where eventually... Have I lost the, I think I have.
Coming?
I've lost the villagers. Where the tunnel seems to kind of go to the east. There is a tunnel to the north, and there's a ladder slightly to your west.
Okay. Can I see anything on the top of that ledge?
And you start to hear sound. A more pronounced sound of goblins. Goblins chilling. Goblins having a good time. And more prominent sounds of explosions coming from your west. More singing coming from your east. In the north, you don't quite hear much of anything.
Okay. West then?
Whoa.
For the explosions?
Yeah. Up that ladder. On that ledge.
Yeah. I'm loving the singing. So if I get on the ladder and just sort of like peek my head over. Do we want to send Yelena up? Because she's sneaky.
Want me to sneak up?
Maybe just to get an idea of, before we just go bombing up there.
One second.
So Yelena sneaks. I would have
Sneaking.
Yelena roll a stealth check as she climbs up the ladder to peek.
There we go.
23. Great effortless stealth. You climb up the ladder. You see 3 goblins. She pushes to talk the right month this time. One of them is wearing kind of like ornamented, kind of an outfit that's different from the others, ornamented with some plates of stone. He's obviously bought into the cult lifestyle. And there seems to be 2 grunts that he's ordering around to do tasks. Intermittently, there are like little puffs of explosions and blasts where the grunt goblins kind of jump back, startled, and then they laugh because they're also kind of like amused by whatever the substance they're working with. It's obviously something dangerous. And here and there are these like puffs of green clouded gas and little like forceful little blasts when they're clumsy and they don't get something quite right. And at one point, you see one of the goblins kind of jump back, who's a grunt. He's like, "Ah! I lost a tooth!" Ah! And there's like a little spray as like he spits out a tooth. That apparently he got too close to whatever the substance they were working with and got a little bit of an injury from the blast. And the other one laughs, is like, "Yeah, at least you did not lose a finger like a Buko." And they just laugh because they're talking about someone else. And the goblin who is wearing black earth kind of garments shushes them. And he's like, "Get back to work. We have quota. We have to make 3 barrels before Misrule." 3 barrels before Misrule, you hear him say.
Misrule.
Misrule. Kai, do a history check with advantage. Or maybe a religion check, whichever is better.
Hey.
23. Kai, from your history with your uncle and your tradition of celebrating and exploring all the holidays of the realms and below, you hear Misrule and you're like, "Hey! Reign of Misrule is a holiday. And it's coming. It's nigh. It's on the 10th of Marpanath. That's 5 days from now." Misrule. Are they planning something for the Reign of Misrule involving explosives?
Or are they just making fireworks?
Or are they just making fireworks to celebrate? Who knows?
Yeah, that doesn't seem
Whatever.
likely.
And I think that's because it's 4 o'clock. That's where we're going to end this session.
Cool.
Okay.
You're like on the other edge of the map.
Yeah. Oh, we moved quite far today.
You moved quite far. You've potentially maybe navigated the Cavern Warrens, occupied by the Dust Goblin tribe. It just depends on what you're going to do based
What
off
happens
of what has
next?
been overheard. Do you check out what's to the east? Do you check out what's to the... Do you do something about whatever you just heard?
Can I ask, is Misrule one word, as in Misrule?
Misrule is one word.
Okay.
I might have more information to offer up.
Yeah, I'll see if I can. I suppose we can do it. See if anyone knows.
It is a holiday. It's one of 2 major festivals that is observed in the realm of Termish. Kai knows. I couldn't tell you where Tarmish is. But it is celebrated 10 days after High Harvest Tide. My gosh, it's only been it's been like 5 or 6 days since Honeyfest. Do you realize that? Is that not crazy?
It don't feel like it.
Is that
No.
not crazy? So the Reign of Misrule generally lasts just a single day from dawn to dusk. And on that day, citizens are allowed to disregard oaths and promises. The rules of their occupation. Everybody takes a day off. Mercantile guild contracts, nothing. Religious dogmas, nothing. Social restraints, nothing. Everybody's having orgies. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. You're allowed to act out of character. You can engage in destructive behavior. People go wild. It's like, okay, I'm going to say it's like Mardi Gras for the most vanilla people out there. So, fireworks, not unusual. It is a revelry. And in general, villages allow revelry as long as no serious harm, death, or major destruction is involved because, they're still living in a society. But this is an occasion where paladins can be rude and rowdy and get involved in wild barroom brawls. And priests and monks are allowed to break vows of silence. And they're allowed to, not be such sticks in the mud if their religion requires them to be sticks in the mud. And it's a time for the release of tension and pent-up aggression. So there's going to be drinking and partying on the 10th of Marpanoth in places that celebrate it. There will be fireworks. This is what Kai expects on the day. And it's celebrated throughout the realms.
Okie doke.
So with that in your holster,
Okay.
we shall pick up next time.
Cool. Super.
Yay.
So I'm glad you guys got to have some nice combat.
Well, I don't know if being whacked by a bloody minotaur with a
Yeah, that was so- how
20
many
is
po-
nice
how many-
combat.
How many points of damage was that?
It's
30.
like 40 odd,
30.
isn't it?
You could not take 2 of those. But that was like a lucky strike. No one plans for a natural 20 with a great axe, really, unless you're a barbarian.
That's not life. Nobody plans for a natural 20 with the great axe.
That's just life. So it's a good thing that that Terrell is such a meat shield because you had the hit points to absorb such a beefy blow.
Mm.
But by and large, I mean, you'd still, even there was like one lucky shot and it didn't really even go to 2 rounds, I don't think. So
No, it didn't.
you took out the Minotaur skeleton in pretty quick order. You took out the cackling skeleton in very quick order. Yeah, because the Minotaur skeleton didn't even have a chance to be scared of Spronkles, the goose. So, yeah, that was pretty fast. But I feel good that you had a chance to fight something and be very dominant with your fighting. And I'm also glad that you chose lies instead of murder hoboing your way through the goblin village so far.
Yeah, might not last long.
Because so far, frankly, it's been an easier path with all of the baggage, the people, the NPCs you got carted around. I was like, please don't murder hobo, and I'm glad you didn't. So the next time we play D&D will be July 15th.
Okay, hang on. Get my calendar open. Oh, hang on. We think we've got a family party. No, we've got some on the 14th. I don't know about the 15th. Oh, shit. No, we've got a family party on the 15th. Sorry.
Okay. So for everyone, is the 8th or the 22nd better?
We are good for either of those, so whichever works for you two.
Kim, do you know?
Either works fine for me right now, as far as I can tell.
Let's do the 8th and live dangerously. That's only 3 weeks instead of a full month. It'll mean a longer wait before we play in August, but hey. Maybe we can get you back to Secomber.
Right.
Someday.
Return to
Honestly, when we get back to
Secomber.
Secomber, I'm going back to my room and I'm staying in bed for at least 24 hours.
Well, here's
nap. It's a nap
here's
time.
the brutal reality is Lady Bellafana intended to be leaving Secomber tomorrow morning, no matter
Well,
what.
that ain't gonna happen, is it?
Yeah, so that feels like it's rapidly getting derailed because let's say you've spent at least an hour kind of like traipsing your way through these burrows so far. So now it's past noon. It's about 1 o'clock. Yeah,
I mean,
like you're
potentially
definitely
like
all
pretty
gonna be.
boys running around worried, wondering where the fuck we all are.
Well, I think what's his name? Joe Mont wasn't checking in till tomorrow morning to
Right.
see if everything was cool, if y'all were ready to go. Who knows what's happening with him? I mean, he's been out of radar for a day and a half now, or a day. Yeah, a day, let's say. Almost a day. But he was staying at Lord's Hill.
Hmm.
I don't know if that matters. God, I don't even remember what I've told you. I'm gonna have to rewatch this episode to like double check exactly what I've told you about what's going on in the world. And right now, do you guys feel like I railroaded you into fighting those skeletons?
Maybe.
Because there's this fine line. Because I wanted to tempt you because I knew they had loot.
See, I feel bad if it was for the Great Axe because I was definitely trying to stick with like the whole protector type thing as much as I would like to just whack things like it did to me.
There are two things going on. One, you guys didn't really seem to be grasping on that the gong might be useful instead of harmful.
I thought it was gonna be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was going to just wake everything up in the.
And I thought if you don't make noise, you're going to have to traverse that tunnel without any escort, which means you would have probably had a combat. Unless you guys rolled pretty well in your stealth as a group, you probably would have had a combat with the ants. I'll say that much. The ants might have been upset. And then that would have drawn some attention and it would have been like weird. It would have been harder to convince at least that keeper guy that you were on the up and up.
Mm.
Whereas the banging the gong was the normal procedure for like, bringing him to escort people through that area. So I was kind of like trying to pushing that just to like maybe not like keep you out of trouble maybe.
It works.
Plus I knew that there was loot and I was like, God, they haven't gotten any loot so far they've gotten very little loot from this whole quarry
Yeah, I'm dying to
experience.
find out what the boots do for Yelena.
So, I mean, I might have pushed too hard. But, I thought it was helping.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
'Cause-
It didn't end up in disaster, so
I certainly didn't think that the Minotaur skeleton was going to natural 20 anybody, okay? So without the natural 20, I did not think it would be any kind of challenge whatsoever, really. Like a minor challenge, but still not a deadly combat. Which I felt like after last session, you guys needed a not deadly combat, okay? Okay?
Well, we weren't deadly there either. That was not combat. That was dodging.
That was just running for your lives.
Right.
So I was hoping. The other thing is, do you regret not trying the rope? Trying the rope up?
yeah, maybe.
Maybe, yeah, but I mean, I suppose the fact that we're potentially finding what the cultists have got planned in the town is probably worth it.
I mean, these are two paths. They both had things to discover. Let's just say.
Okay. Well, we've made a choice now.
You've made a choice.
Rope.
You've made a choice.
And here we are.
And there's no rule that says you can't backtrack at any point at some point. No, wait, I'm not saying that in the sense of like expecting you to backtrack in this dungeon. I'm just saying that it's not like the quarry has been destroyed off the face of the earth. It's just been roughed up a lot by drowning people, by blue crush people. It's been crushed a little. Yeah, that's the ticket. It's been crushed a little. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. There's multiple ways you can find out everything that exists. So, okay, I need to quit like doing anything. I just sometimes feel like I'm like when like you guys miss like opportunity to learn certain things or like get certain connections to what's actually going on in the world, sometimes I get worried.
Well, I mean, potentially that's down to us for not asking the right questions, or so
But
it's not your fault, is it?
sometimes it's like, oh, we're kind of skipping that part altogether. So like, ooh, are they ever going to find something that tells them like another opportunity that might tell them similar stuff?
I feel like at this point Terrell is just like Hulk, sees someone, smashes it. So
Smash it,
yeah.
smite it a little, smite it.
I was
Wor-
very excited that I could use
Worry about it
effective
later.
damage on the undead stuff, so that was good.
Yes, you got to undead. I mean, you're
Yeah.
built for undead killing. And I'm also glad. Well, no, I'm thinking that Terrell is probably really itching for a bath at this point
Oh yes, so much.
because there hasn't been one. You've been tromping
Troll around the
sewers.
sewers.
You've been in a flooding cavern that's like full of just like gunk and mud and coal dust.
Yep.
And now you're in these like muddy earthen caverns that it's just not good. So yeah, it's a good thing that there seems to be some connection at the bathhouse with the cult.
Yes, this is true.
Maybe you can get clean while you solve crimes. All right. Have a great what remains of the day.
You too.
I believe it'll be whiskey in the bed, but yeah, thank you.
Yay. We
Yeah.
did not get to the map that was animated. You did not make those choices.
But we did see the animated goblin.
You did see the animated goblin, which
So
is
that was cute.
Fantasy Grounds version 4.4.
Oh dear.
Right, thanks, Bonnie.
All right. Bye.
Thank you. Bye
See
bye.
ya.
Have a good day. Bye.